I would like to read from Whispers from Eternity. This is the demand for seeing the one fire beneath all soul flames. O eternal fire, thou art the little soul flames rising through the burner of cosmic manifestation. Each human being is but one flame, separate seeming from all others, and also from thy universal source of power. Thou dost appear many, finite, limited, small or large, but ever divided, shooting up as separate entities through the pores of living organisms. But thou alone art that one eternal flame. All things other are but thy multifarious appearances. Now, each human being is but one flame, separate seeming from all others, and also from thy universal source of power. Assuming that you are all human beings, you're in good shape here. We look, can man see God? Swami explains very clearly that we can, with our heart, I'll quote Saint Exupéry, The Little Prince, it's only with the heart that one can see rightly. What is essential is invisible to the eye. So we'll go with that. But the reality of it is that as we progress on our spiritual path, whatever our spiritual path is, we come closer to this realization that there is one light, and we are all manifestations of that light. And as we progress as disciples, the veil over the light, the Maya, as we call it in Hinduism, the Maya prevents us from recognizing the light. And we think we're separate. We think there's yin and yang. We think that there's good and bad. We think there's Hindus and Buddhists. We think there's Sufis and Christians. We divide ourselves up. One of the translations of the Maya is the measurer. Starts to put lines in between it. But we can't say that we can see the infinite with mortal eyes. But the reality of it is that different disciples and different truth seekers see or feel or hear God in different ways. And this is appropriate. It's infinite. It's everything in the universe. It'd be a little bit much to say, well, I've got it. I see it now. Any religion that would say, I've got it, and I've got the only way to see it, questionable. But in this reading from the Gita, where Swami quotes the Gita, it refers to an experience that Arjuna had. Now, the trick of it is, Arjuna was master. So we've got two descriptions. We've got the Vishwarupa, the vision of God in the infinite form. And this was in the Bhagavad Gita. They're ready for the battle, and Arjuna goes to Krishna, and Krishna says, I'm everything. I'm the light in everything. And he gives them the big picture. All the saints in the world, all the mountains in the world, all the planets in the world, all the galaxies in the world. We're currently at 2.5 trillion galaxies, but by next week we'll have 3 or more with new telescopes. And so it's a big picture. And Arjuna is, whoa. He says, Krishna, could you be my cousin again? Can we turn this down a little? I'm not quite ready for this. But he does accept it in his heart, and he's given it through his heart, through his love, because he's the foremost disciple of Krishna. A little note that I want to introduce here is that previous to the battlefield, Krishna gave the Vishwarupa to Duryodhana. He's King Material Desire. He wanted to impress upon him that there was a big picture here that Duryodhana was missing. And he showed him the Vishwarupa, same blessing. And what did Duryodhana go? That's a magic trick. I don't want to deal with that. I don't want to see that. Please go away. I want to fight a war. I'm King Material Desire. I want more money. I want land. I'm greedy. I want this. I don't want to deal with you are a part of all that is. So again, there's a requirement, and that is the open heart. That's what Arjuna had, and that's what Duryodhana didn't have. I'd like to tell you a story about St. Francis. So, St. Francis was, they would go begging. That's how they didn't have a community to work in the Sangha. They didn't have Ananda.org. So they supported themselves by begging. So one day, Francis and Matteo went out. Matteo is one of the brothers. Got to be a deep soul. He's a disciple of Christ with Brother Francis. And they went out begging. Now, St. Francis, Paramhansa Yogananda, there's a tape of him saying, St. Francis was really ugly. What? This is the Prem Avatar saying that St. Francis was ugly. But I'm taking his word for it because thoughts of all men, past, present, to come. He's got it. So St. Francis was ugly. Matteo was handsome and young. And so when the two of them went begging, everybody gave the good bread to Matteo because he's young and good looking, and this young strapping lad needs some whole wheat bread and some cookies. And poor Francis, they give him some moldy bread and they give him the corner. And, okay, so St. Francis, they're at sort of, I guess at lunchtime or at the end of the day, they're sort of comparing their loot, you know. And Francis said, oh, we don't deserve it. We don't deserve it. Oh, it's so, and Matteo was sort of, I got it. And so St. Francis, now Master tells the story, and he says, I want you to remember that St. Francis was raising people from the dead at this point. So St. Francis goes over and he puts his finger under Matteo's chin, and he lifts him up in the air like this, and he drops him. Boom! Matteo wakes up a little bit. There's different levels of reality. And what Master was trying to say is that the power of God is the reality. How can we see God? Well, I'll tell you one more story before we get to that. So this is 1951. Paramhansa Yogananda is at the 29 Palms retreat. It's a little house in 29 Palms, California. And he's got two of the young brothers with him, two of the young monks. And so Master's in there, he's writing or something. Kriyananda is not there on this day. But Yogananda is telling the brothers, can we go over and let's move the rocks over there. He's giving him instruction for some sevas from Karma Yoga. So the brothers are doing that, and okay, Master, we got the sticks out. And so one of the young brothers comes over and he's leaning over. What do we do next, Master? Master, okay, why don't you get the sticks out over there? Okay, Master, okay. So he goes and gets the sticks out. And then he comes back and he looks over to Master. He says, Master, what do we do? And Master says, and the voice comes out. And he says, well, I want you to go get the rocks. But as the brother's looking at where the voice is coming from Yogananda, Yogananda's not using the Yogananda body. He's a being of light. It's a bright light speaking to him in the voice of Paramhansa Yogananda and telling him to get the sticks out of the left side of the trail. Wow. The brother he went and got the sticks, better do that. The masters can see God in everything. O God, beautiful, in the forest thou art green, in the mountain thou art high, in the river thou art restless, in the ocean thou art grave. And as we progress as disciples, we move in that direction. We start to see God more, light more, Om more, love more. We feel it, we hear it, we see it. By individual, it can vary. I'm sure that Bhagavati and Ramesha hear God more than they see God, but they may see God too, but not everyone sees the forms of God. Kriyananda said he didn't have visions. Why would be that? He's a very advanced soul. Because he was an advanced disciple of Paramhansa Yogananda. That was his Ishtadeva, that was his form. I am the disciple of the great master Paramhansa Yogananda. So what Kriyananda saw was master. What Kriyananda felt was master's love. What Kriyananda heard was the voice of Yogananda, as he had when he was a young man, but heard the whispers from eternity constantly guiding him. That's suitable. Don't feel bad if you don't see God, or you don't have visions, or you don't dream about master. Some people do. Some people dream about Swami or the masters, or they see, some people see God. We had a friend in Sacramento. He's a beautiful disciple. He's passed away now. But his relationship with God was that he was always seeing God. And he would see them in the form of the masters or the saints. So he would come into a yoga postures class at our little storefront, the Ananda Center of Sacramento, a little storefront, 1,000 square feet. He'd be coming in for a yoga class, and he'd say, "Oh, Sri Yukteswar just went out the door." And would look, and the thing was, his heart was real. This was not drawing attention to himself or nonsense. You could feel it. He just saw Sri Yukteswar leave. He would see Sai Baba at a meditation class. Now, Swami Kriyananda was giving a class in Sacramento, and he was teaching how to meditate. He was teaching Hong Sa. And someone came up to him and said, "Swamiji, I was at that class, and I saw Sai Baba in the back of the room." Swami Kriyananda said, "Oh, that's wonderful." He would always downplay it. He didn't ever draw attention to himself. But later on, Swami Kriyananda was in India, and he was visiting Sai Baba. And he asked him, "Were you at my class in Sacramento?" Sai Baba said, "Oh yes, I went there." Very, very good class there, Swamiji. There's different levels, and different people have different karma. Swami Kriyananda was adamantly not drawing attention to himself. He didn't tell us about Vishwarupa. He didn't tell us about this or that, but he insisted that we remove that veil of Maya and open our hearts to the divine love of God. And that is our assignment, to see God everywhere. How can we do it? I want to suggest a method that might help you. We know, and Swami and Master often said, when you're meditating, you're concentrating at the point between the eyebrows. Concentrate on the center of whatever light you see. If you don't see the spiritual eye blazing in front of you, if you don't see the blue Christ consciousness, if you don't see the gold ring, concentrate on the center of whatever light you see, however faint, however vaguely pulsating, whatever it is. Maybe it's just gray, a little gray patch in the middle of complete black. Concentrate on the center of whatever light you see. It's very good advice. It's very helpful. But we can use that same technique and transfer it to our everyday life. And there was a little phrase in the affirmation, looking behind the appearance. The vision that we have of the world is like binoculars. If you ever go birding, You're looking for the bird over here, but whoa, there's a big hawk up there. You have to adjust those. Your vision, your focal point is wrong. A lot of times our focal point is wrong in the outside world. We're concentrating on the surface. We're not concentrating on the center of the person, of the situation. We've been talking this last week about the world's not behaving very well. There's a lot of wars and famines and civil unrest, and all this stuff is on the outside. What's on the inside? Tranquil, unbroken thrill, eternally living, ever new peace. And the way that the masters see the world is to focus on the inside, on the center. One time Master left the all-day meditation, and as the people were coming out of the meditation, he just turned to them and he said, "You have no idea how beautiful you are. Silver light and golden light." Now they looked just like you. They were coming out of a meditation, so I'll say it to you. You have no idea how beautiful you are. Silver light and golden light. That's the reality. What do we concentrate on? Oh, I got angry, and oh, I said this thing, I wish I didn't say it, and boy, my ex-wife is blah. You know, that's not the reality. That's the Maya. That's the very thin veil that's trying to cover the reality of this soul flame. There is one soul flame in the whole world, and throughout the world, and throughout the universe. And it is the shining love of God. Remember at the Mount of Transfiguration? So Jesus said, Peter, James, John, let's take a walk up the hill here. He takes them up the hill, Mount of Transfiguration. And what does Peter, James, and John see? They see Moses. Moses has been dead for 1,000 years, over 1,000 years. They're good Jews. They know who Moses is. Elijah is there. He's been dead for like 500 years or more. And they see the two of them talking with Christ. But Christ isn't Jesus, the 30-year-old guy. He's a light, a brilliant, bright light. But they hear him talking, just like the brother heard Yogananda talking. Because that's the reality. Moses, Yogananda tells us, was a master. Elijah, in a past life, was Christ's guru. And so he brought them together, and he wanted to show his disciples, this is the reality. Moses is not the body. He's not dead for 1,000 years. Elijah is not the body. He's not dead for 500 years. They are living beings of light. They are masters. And we too are masters, waiting to be awakened. So what we have to do is, of course, we have to meditate. We have to go to the center of that star or whatever light we see. Relax, practice deeply. Listen to Om. Om is always all around us. The light is always around us. And the feeling of the love of God is always around us. But we have to focus on that. And we have to extend that love to our brothers and sisters. And that's a little harder. It's easy with the masters. I mean, who doesn't love Yogananda? Really? Come on. Who doesn't love Jesus? Who doesn't love Buddha? Nobody doesn't like them. But that aggravating coworker that's next to you, oh, if she says that one more time, I'm going to scream. It's not in my case, because I work with Prakash. So, but what we have to do is we have to look behind the exterior. Because in the heart and the soul of every being in the universe is that perfect light. That's how Kriyananda could love everybody. That's how Master could love everybody. They're not looking at the problems. They're not looking at the aggravating behavior. They're not looking at the anger, or the stupidity, or the meanness, or the hatred, or any of that, because that's on the outside. That's the Maya messing up the light. What they look at is the desire of that soul to be kind, to be loving, to be accepted, to be prosperous. And we have to look there. That's how they could behave towards them as beings of light, because they're looking for the light. They're looking for God in everyone. If we look for God in everyone, we'll see God in everyone. It takes practice, but it can occur. It does occur over time. If the heart is open, I seek purification by the grace of God. Open your heart to me, and I'll enter and take charge of your life. That's easy, isn't it? We just have to practice. We just have to practice constantly. And we have to realize that it's a possibility. I have dreams of the masters, but other people don't. I see the masters sometimes, but my favorite form of seeing the masters is seeing all of you. Seeing truth seekers. Seeing a person who came to this service today, they'd never been here before, and they came to that Ananda place, and they wanted to go to Sunday service and see what it's like. You know what that is? That's the perfect soul saying, check this out. See what this is. If this might be fun, go see what it is. I don't know what it is. Well, go see. I see people want to learn to meditate online. We get hundreds of people wanting to learn the Hong Sau technique online. And I see God in them. I see that desire. It's waking up. I should learn to meditate. You know, really? I wonder what it's like. And then they're drawn to master, to this line. I see karma yogis. Some people come here and they want to serve. They want to try out, what would it be like to serve selflessly? You don't get paid, you don't get promoted, you don't get any of that. But I could serve. The soul remembers. We remember in our soul that God is everywhere. So when I see that, when I see all of you practicing, the disciples of Yogananda, good or Buddhism or any path, following that path, and practicing daily, trying to see God, feel God in the mountain, in the river, in the ocean, to the sorrowful, thou art sympathy, then you realize that that's God all around you. And sometimes it gets a little alarming because the veil disappears and, oh my God, this is the Divine Mother. You get used to it. It's very enjoyable. Something to be striven for, whatever it is. Strive for it. Anyway, point being that God is inviting us. And if you knew how much God loved you, you would die for joy. There's so much love. And the only frustrating thing is that more people don't. But they will. Because contentment. We're doing our best to share the light. You're all doing your best to share the light. And I thank you for it. God bless you.
If you're seeking freedom in a revolution, or if you're seeking freedom, you won't find it there. For once the guns stop blazing, you'll find it amazing how the world can drag on just as before. If you're seeking freedom in a marble mansion, oh, if you're seeking freedom, you won't find it there. For even when it's sunny, you'll become suffer like a beggar, you've wealth everywhere. For never can you buy it, grasp and you deny it. Freedom can't be boarded, it's free as the air. And if you're seeking freedom, seek it on the mountains. Got sunlight on your shoulders, the wind in your hair. For there's no one can hold you, boss about or mold you. Once your heart is free, you'll be king everywhere. For there's no one can hold you, boss about or mold you. Once your heart is free, you'll be king everywhere.
Thank you to all of our donors for making it possible to share these videos and keep this channel ad-free. If you feel inspired to donate, visit ananda.org/give.